11, and if you are not doing your regular, if you have not been prescribed a regular Gayatri practice, then just do your regular mantra. No. Yeah, spend time on your mantra. And then at the end of the meditation session, do 3 more cycles of the full Gayatri. All right? Yes. If what? Yes, that 11 is okay for anybody. No. That's right. Yes, Mia. You inhale Om. Who? That's right. 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 Who? Yeah. No, you go up from that chakra. Feeling of a energy moving upwards. Yeah, that's right. You do the 11, you do the mala, full mala, and the 3. Yes. Okay.
Can you talk about the breath with regular Gayatri?
Could you talk about the breath with the regular Gayatri? I would say just leave it normal. Just leave it normal. Don't force it. Otherwise, a very long time. It takes a long time, and nobody has that kind of time. No, it has a different system, but don't bother with it for now. Just do the Gayatri if possible, in the heart center.
When the last part, the new part that we've been told to do, after you've gone up all the way up and then you have the other part of the Gayatri, where is that set? Is that in the heart center?
When you have done the 7 chakras, gone up, inhale with Om again, exhale with part of the Gayatri, inhale with part of the Gayatri according to your capacity, exhale again. The final should be an exhalation.
Is that just going up then?
Up and down, up and down.
Down,
Right.
up and down.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Are you defining the cycle as 100 days or something?
No. The cycle was just one complete long Gayatri that I have given you. 108, Dirk. You have to retire now. Come. Do we have space? Do we have space in the ashram for Dirk? I'm glad at least somebody is ambitious. Yes. Another hand.
When your lectures are full of the importance of doing our regular mantra with inhalation and exhalation. I'm home now. I'm blessed now. I only have so much time. I have that to do and the guys to do. I just don't.
Yeah, you have only so much time. That is why I said do it within your capacity.
What is the most important? Is your own mantra or the Gayatri?
A little Gayatri is helpful. If you don't have time for 11, do 1. It establishes a certain link. That's all. Someday, sometime, Mother will be graceful to you and will provide the time. I have given lectures here many times. Meditation makes time for itself. if you know how to handle the relationship between meditation and life, your life can become easier so that you have more time for that meditation. Find ways to do that. But don't stretch yourself so much that you sit down to meditate and all you can do is snooze. Yes.
Somebody else asked me this question this morning, and I didn't know the answer, but what if you want just to concentrate on the heart? Could you just do Om Maha? I mean, what if you
No.
No.
Either you do that whole system or you do the entire Gayatri in the heart center. Yeah.
Earlier you said that when you do Gayatri, you should remember Rishi Shantra. Is there a process by which
You just pay homage. That's all. Yes. Yeah, Linda, it's horrible. Not the intensity with which we are doing. It's a very gentle process. When you sit down and you do 125,000 in a month, then you will see readjustments. Okay? They are readjustments, nothing else. And at the end of the process, you will see you emerge into a broader sunshine than you started with. It happens with me all the time. And because I know it, so I don't quit in the middle. Just go through the difficulty, handle the difficulty as best as I can, and let it ride. But none of you are being advised to do it so intensively, so it's all right. Okay? And what I'm saying about difficulty is just they are readjustment, they are realignments of forces within you, and thereby realignment of forces around you. It's breaking up something to make something more beautiful. Okay. Tatsavitur varenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yo nah prachodayat. I explained that Savituhu of the sun, the one who creates, the one who impels, the one who inspires. Remember we did that all of that yesterday. Varenyam, we spoke of beauty that is worthy of choice. The one in whom you take refuge. How do you take refuge? What is the process of taking that refuge? It is the process of surrender. What does the word choosing mean in Varenyam? Surrendering, offering oneself by way of meditation. Why? Because by choosing him, her, it, we conquer the cycles and the waves of birth, death, disease, and sorrow. Okay? Bharga, we went over Bharga in 2-3 different ways, brilliance, splendor, but then we discussed the sound Bha, and we discussed the sound Ra, and we discussed the sound Ga. You should put them all together. The word Bharga also means that which burns, that which practically roasts. It is in addition to what we have explained about the word. In addition to what we have explained about the word, that fire of time which dissolves the universes at the end of its cycle of creation. That fire of time the fire of time, the word for time in Sanskrit is that which is calculated. There is a fire in all things calculable that burns them from within. There is a fire in all things calculable, in all things measurable, that burns their energy from within. In physics it is called entropy, but not quite. Doesn't grasp the whole, the ultimate goal of it. That entropy has a goal that has not yet come up in the philosophy of science. Okay? So that fire of time, which burns within all things that are calculable and measurable, and thereby leads them to dissolution. Now, remember this idea. What does the word dissolution mean? Here again, you have to be very careful about the definitions and categories in Indian philosophy. The word dissolution means return to the origin. All things in their progression through apparent entropy are returning to their origins. A clay pot is destroyed. What does it mean? Have the molecules of the clay pot ceased to exist? No, it simply means that it has returned to its origin that was clay. A gold ornament is melted. The ornament nature has been dissolved to return the object to its origin as gold. You follow? So when we speak of the dissolution of the universe, we do not speak of a return to chaos, but to an equilibrium, which is the origin. Now I'm going to return to this idea, so please bear this idea in mind. Okay? So there is this element of dissolution in the burning splendor and light in Bharga. You will need to contemplate this word with great care at all the different layers of meaning. Another idea of burning in the word has to do with that which burns avidya, ignorance. What is ignorance? When in metaphysics we use the term ignorance, what do we mean by that word? Those who have studied the Yoga Sutras, what do we mean by avidya? Not knowing our self-nature, the nature of the spiritual self. Not knowing the nature of the spiritual self as it truly is, that ignorance. So Bharga is that splendor which burns that ignorance, and by burning that ignorance, it also burns the effects of that ignorance, the effects that it has on our being. What are the effects ignorance has on our being? Our limitations, our bondage, our becoming so incapacitated that we can barely think of the infinite power within you, our finitude. So all of these thoughts are inherent in the word Bharga. It is then the fire of purification. Both the fire of dissolution and the fire of purification. In spiritual matters, the two are one and the same. In spiritual matters, the fire of dissolution and the fire of purification are one and the same. Those who have studied the Sankhya Yoga philosophy with any kind of thoroughness would recognize this, because what does our purification consist of when we progress towards samadhi? When we progress towards higher and deeper and pure meditation, the grosser, the heavier, the more tangible evolutes in us dissolve into their subtler, finer origins, and that is what purification consists of. The earth, water, fire, air, space dissolve into their subtler counterparts. The subtler counterparts dissolve into ahankara, and so on. All right? So this entire process, being guided by the burning splendor of the divine presence, burning splendor of the solar orb, is Bharga. Who is this solar orb? What are the special qualities of this solar orb? We said he is Deva. What did we understand by the word Deva? I gave you 8 meanings. You know, after I went from here, I remembered the Vivukrita, Vijigisha, Vyavahara, Jyoti, Stuti, Moda, Mada, Swapna, Kanti, Gatishu. The 9th, actually in the count, is 7th. I gave you 8 meanings. Is, believe it or not, it does not seem to fit with the rest of the meanings of the verb. Because all the other meanings have a sense of light and achievement and motion. But one of the meanings of that verb is sleep. Now what does sleep have to do with light? Pardon? No, 7th. Sleep. Now, I'll explain this to you more in our lectures on Vedanta. Sleep is again the process of dissolution. Sleep is that state into which the proliferation of varieties of experience ceases. Sleep is that state in which the proliferation of varieties of experience ceases, and all experiences dissolve into experiencelessness. The sleep in a world which represents the divine is not the sleep of unconsciousness. It is the sleep of the dissolution of distracting experiences. The one in whose light There is both the play, the first meaning of the verb was play, and cessation of that play and the dissolution of that play into a substratum of unity. So that pure light may emanate and permeate you. That kind of sleep is the nature of Deva. When we sleep in a bed called our mind, then it is a sleep of the comatose. It is the sleep of stupefaction. But when we sleep in the bed called God, so tat savitur varenyam bharga devasya. That bharga, with all the meanings we have given, of the Deva, divine, Savitri, the solar orb. There is one meaning of Bharga that I have held back up to this point. We have spoken of the fire of time that dissolves. We have spoken of the fire of purification. There is one more fire. Fire of purification is of two kinds. One is known as tapas, T-A-P-A-S, tapas. Your ascetic endeavor, your intentness by which you purify yourself, the process that occurs by your purifying your life. And there are many ways to purify oneself. No. One of the things that I find incidentally missing sometimes is that you people take too much of other people's sanskaras. No. You carry other people's thoughts. You have not learned the difference between love and attachment. You have not learned the difference between pity and sympathy and compassion. You see someone miserable, you cry, and you carry that cry within you. Someone who has detached love does not carry the cry, he leaves a laughter behind. That art of loving you have to learn. So you do not carry their sanskara of misery in you, but rather you generate your powerful sanskara and dissolve the misery that is around you and create a laughter there. Understand? All right. So the fire of purification is of two kinds. One, the tapas, your ascetic endeavor. You sit at a certain time. You eat pure foods. You earn your livelihood by not hurting others. You keep your thoughts intent upon your goal, your purpose, and so forth. And my master says that when someone walks towards me 1 step, I walk towards him 4 steps. The act of grace, the fire of initiation, that is the other kind of the fire of purification. Fire of initiation that burns. It comes in many forms, in many ways. Quite often, grace comes in a form in which we cannot handle it and we want to run away from it because we cannot stand the readjustment of our psychological forces and our psychological habits and realignment of our internal systems. No? I have found so many times in my life, in my relationship with my master in the last 17 years, 18 years, it tells me to do something that, God, it's just horrible. I'm not cut out to do it. No, that's not the way I operate. No. What can I do now? You understand? So what do you want? You want your old habits because you love them so much? Or you want to emerge triumphant as a conqueror of the old binding habit patterns? Sometimes I take my own good, sweet time. Everybody thinks I'm such a good disciple, but my master knows the naughty disciple I am, I tell you. No. I take my own sweet time, readjusting, realigning, giving him excuses. All right. Oh. No. And he has great patience for some reason. Great patience with me. I saw you a lot of patience. Yes. You always had that patience. Yes. No. The masters make you do things that are not in your nature, that you think are not in your nature, and make you change that nature. Make you change your psychological ties, bindings, handcuffs. What you think is your nature is your handcuffs. You cannot step out of them and be free of them and do things differently and be larger thereby. No. Now that is a very difficult process, but that is the process of purification. It's a process of purification. For a teacher, it is not easy to learn that process. No. And then beyond that is the fire of initiation, in which the Guru actually produces some kind of a fire in you and burns your old sanskaras. And you're free of certain level of karma by grace. All of that is included in the word bharga. It's a very powerful word. By grace, all of that is included in the word bharga. It's a very powerful word.
makes you aspire to sit in the core of the sun. Nothing short of that. And to take the heat and the dissolution that occurs if you were thrown into the core of the sun, spiritually speaking. Dhimani. Inside the word Dhimani. May we contemplate it. May we meditate upon it. May we sustain it in ourselves. May we contemplate it. May we meditate upon it. May we sustain it within ourselves. May we hold it. When we are given that fire, may we not dissipate it. Somebody says, you people have minds like seas. I pour into it and everything goes flowing down. Every time you sit to meditate, if you have been a meditator for some time, and you have been sitting regularly at more or less a fixed time, at that time, in that meditation, some few drops of grace are poured into you. You get up, and fall to the feet. Full of holes. Dhimani, may we sustain it in ourselves, may we hold it, may we contain it, may we maintain it, and again contemplate it, and again meditate upon it, again absorb and assimilate it. May it not go away from us. May it not flow away from us. May it always remain with us wherever we are, in whatever situation we are, whatever we are doing, whatever activities we are participating in, whatever pleasures we are indulging in, through all of those times, through all of the vicissitudes of life, may we sustain it, may we hold it, and again contemplate it, meditate upon it, build it and let it build up, and we are keeping it. All right? Inside, yo, nah, prachodaya. All the words. Thiyo. Next word. Yo. Next word, nah. N-A. Dot underneath CH. Pra, dash, CHO, DA, YA, T. Dash on top of the last page. Prachodayat. Dhiyo yo nah prachodayat. The word dhiyo refers to the faculty called buddhi. But it is also at a lower level translated as our vritti. The vritti, all the fluctuations of the mind. At present, the wheels of our mind have no direction. They arise at random. All kinds of waves at all different times waves of different sizes, different shapes, pulling us in a million directions all at once. The first process in the purification of our mind is that their energies should become channelized. Right? So that they are not all so many vrittis arising simultaneously and pulling us into so many different directions and draining us of all our energy and capacity. So, the word prachodayat means may impel, may channelize, may direct. The word yo means who. Who is that? That divine grace. Na means our. Geo means at level 1 receive. Prachodayat may impel, channelize, direct. Who may channelize our receive. 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 Okay? Channelize means that the mind should begin to flow in one direction. Instead of being divided into so many waves, it should become a single flow. We cannot benefit from that grace. We cannot benefit from that grace unless our mind flows towards that grace. Unless we become its receivers. Unless the mind is flowing in the same direction in which the Guru's mind and the great God's mind is flowing. Otherwise we keep encountering resistance to everything we want to do. People find so much resistance in life. Feels like everybody is there on the road to stop us from where we are going. Huh? Because our minds are not channelized. If a mind is channelized, the life becomes unresisting. A person can get into a thickest crowd and find it over there without having to elbow anybody out of it. He finds opening. And when the mind has thus begun to flow in a single channel, then the second meaning of the word Geo is Buddhi. B-U-D-D-H-I. Buddhi. Buddhi at a lower level is just intellect. The faculty of intelligence, and we know that all things happen in our life through intelligence. But here the word intelligence is not used in the sense of your IQ. IQ is nothing. I've told you how the dumbest disciple can sit down and expound the master's philosophy to his best disciples. It's possible. It has nothing to do with IQ when we speak of the thing. Gayatri, par excellence, is said to be the mantra of improving buddhi. And many have used it for gaining intelligence. The story, and you can use that intelligence, apply it wherever you want to apply it. You can become a great scientist. Actually, people in India, little children, school children, and they go to sit for an exam. Before they do the exam, they recite the Gayatri. So that the right answers will come into the head. There's a story of a young boy who lost his eyes in smallpox, and his stepmother treated him very badly, and finally left his house as a young boy in the last century. And blind boy wandered around the country and ended up in Rishikesh. And someone said, do Gayatri. So every morning from 4 a.m. he would stand and begin with water and do Gayatri. No schooling, nothing. And one day he found that someone used to come and sit nearby and teach Sanskrit grammar. And in the teaching of Sanskrit grammar, you have to memorize. First thing you have to do is memorize 4,000 sutras. I memorized 4,000 sutras upon me at the age of 5, 6. So he found that after his session he was listening to somebody teaching somebody, and thereby became, just simply by that, became the greatest grammarian of the 19th century, the Guru of Swami Dayananda. So people use Gayatri in India just for sharpening their intelligence. An ulterior motive, but worthwhile nevertheless, for improving memory. You know? Then I don't have a capsule into which I can fit it and give it to you here, swallow it. You know? These things require sadhana, they require tapasya, they require an aesthetic intentness. You know? But in yoga, we use the word buddhi for something far beyond intelligence. Although whatever we do in life, whatever we succeed through our intelligence. Wherever we fail, we fail through our intelligence. So that the mantra is a mantra of purifying, first channelizing the mind energy. That those distractions are the ones that prevent us from concentrating, from seeing through things. Then, when the mind has become channelized, has become to center, has become intent, then your intelligence improves. That you apply your intelligence in a manner whereby life becomes easier for you. Your paths are not blocked because your visions are not blocked. Your paths are blocked in life because your visions are blocked. That's why you say, I'm not seeing my way. There must be a way, but I am not seeing it. Because the mind's distractions have made our vision opaque. Sharpen your seeing faculty and your path will not be blocked. With the purification of sanskaras, the opaqueness goes and radiance and transparency returns. Understand? But in yoga, the word buddhi is used at a much higher scale, much higher level. Of that you read in the Yoga Sutras, and I don't need to go into the detail of it, but Buddhi is the finest and the subtlest evolute of nature. It is the most softest aspect of the mind. It is that into which the reflection of the pure Atman falls. We have spoken about it many times. Buddhi is that deepest part of your personal awareness, personal consciousness, into which the radiance, light and illumination of pure Atman reflects. Buddhi is that deepest part of your personal awareness, personal consciousness, into which the radiance, light and illumination of pure Atman reflects. That process of the Atman's light reflecting in the Buddhi generates and maintains the life process. Your body is nothing. The subtlest part of your personality is that Buddhi, the finest, the most sattvic, the purest part of the mind. So pure that it can be in close proximity of Atman, the pure spiritual self, soul if you will. And therefore, as sun reflecting, since we are talking of the solar orb, like sun reflecting in a pure crystal mirror, the light of Atman, the spiritual self, reflects in Buddhi. And thereby this personality becomes conscious. Thereby this personality becomes alive. Through our practice of meditation, may we dissolve the grosser effects and evolutes into the subtler ones, and yet subtler ones, and yet subtler ones, till we reach the finest one called the Buddhi, where the light of the Spirit reflects. When we are in communion with that spiritual light, the intellect of the dumbest idiot shines. The grace becomes visible. Paths come open. Doors that were shut are no longer shut. A source has been discovered, a fount of energy that comes flowing through. The prayer here is for the purification of that Buddhi. That part of our personality, finest part, which is closest to Atman the Self, into which the light of Atman the Self is reflecting, that through which that light filters and makes the body come alive and makes us into conscious persons. And if we can come and dwell there, then we are face to face with Atman the Self. We then see our true face in the mirror of Buddhi. But that is not the end, that is not the final process. different levels of meaning. You have the conquest and the purification of different levels of your personality. When you do the intensive practice of Gayatri, the Gayatri works at that level of your personality. And that is why from within you it creates such realignment of forces. Okay, now we shift the meaning of the entire mantra. I said yesterday that there are two levels of relationship between the devotee and the deity. In one, the devotee is meditating upon the deity so that there is the meditator, the process of meditation, and the one meditated upon. Right? That is still in the world of duality. When you have reached such purification of buddhi as we have spoken of, then the true philosophy of Vedanta comes into play. Then it is not that I meditate upon the light of the solar orb, but I meditate that I am the solar orb. The same one, the same light which is a light in the sky is a light within me. Up to now I used to say that light is within me, as though light and I are two different entities. One the container, me, and the content, the light. Right? But through the process of meditation, the identification between the two is so established or realized or recognized that then it is inappropriate to state the light is within me, or I meditate upon the light, or I am the light. There the subject and the object are one. So there now the meaning of the mantra changes. Dhimahi, we meditate that, not we meditate upon. Understand? We meditate that. Stop. Yes.
What would happen if with our imagination we would pretend like we're human?
What would happen if we, with our imagination, we just begin to aspire to think that we were the universe? The level of mind at which we operate is so limited. In spite of saying these words, we really have no notion of what the universe is like. Your mind goes so far and imagines going 1 billion miles, but even 1 billion miles in the universe is an ant's step. 1 billion miles in the eyes of the infinite God is one step of an ant, that is my mind. No, we cannot grasp it with our conscious mind. use ordinarily for thinking or imagining. It is better to imagine that than to imagine all kind of things. That's all right. If you must imagine, then imagine that. But beyond imagination is the direct experience of meditation. Follow? So, in the first set of meanings of the mantra, we said we meditate upon that light. But now when we are reaching our goal, we meditate, Dhimahi. What do we meditate? Just that. What is that? Savitu Vachinyam Bharata. The burning, beautiful, joy-worthy, burning splendor of the solar orb. Tat Swamasi, thou art that. Aham Brahmanasmi, I am that. May the light in my heart so fill my person that I become the light. And that becoming is my meditation. Being that is my meditation. Then my meditation is not on the nature of light in some other, something exterior to me, to some God over there, somewhere in the sky. Then my meditation is simply my self-recognition, my awareness of myself, who am light, who am that splendor, who am the very burning splendor, who am the one in whom all of the 9 attributes of Theos, Div, divine, Deva, are manifest. Then it is within my power to inspire, to impel, to create, to generate. And I become the progenitor. I become the solar orb. So, first level of translations that we have given deals with the process, and this final one expresses the experience of the goal attained. Clear? In the text on Gayatri and in the tradition, each syllable of the Gayatri is given certain powers. Of that, later, let's ask a few questions. Yes. Say that again? Yes. Between an artist and a mystic. Mm-hmm. The question asked is that Joseph Campbell, in one of his works, differentiates between a mystic and an artist. The mystic identifies with the light and turns his back upon the world. The artist experiences and enjoys the beauty and expresses it right within the context of the world and maintains his relationship with the world. I'll answer this first, slightly indirectly. Someone once asked the great Mahatma Gandhi. Babu, Father, are you a saint or a statesman? And Babu said, statesman does not include saint, but saint includes statesman. If you are in a society and a tradition in which art has been divorced from mystic experience, you make these distinctions. But if you are in a tradition in which all the art forms were created by the mystics, you do not make this distinction. The music of India was produced by the mystics. The Tibetan paintings are produced by the mystics. Huh? One saint sang 10,000 songs in praise of the Lord. Mystics alone of all living beings truly comes face to face with the world and infuses the world with the spirit of his mysticism through all kinds of art forms. Because in his compassion and knowledge, he is so intent upon sharing his vision of reality with the world that he has to find all kinds of forms which the others will recognize and to which others will respond. If you come to India, all its sculpture, all its architecture, even its mathematics is an expression of mysticism. That is why only in that country you could come up with an abstract concept like zero. The concept of zero, it's a nothing. And the same word used as ultimate reality in Buddhism, shunya. Shunya is the word for zero. Because what they experienced, they translated into mathematics. And saw all the numbers in relationship with zero. That's why found the value of those numbers. Without the zero, there is no value in the number. It was direct result of metaphysical experience. Every science in that tradition arose from mysticism. All right? Yes, Dirk. Very close to guilt. You see, both guilt and the resentment against guilt feeling have become a religion. I am not so totally against guilt feeling. I used to be. No, there is a positive aspect to it of recognizing one's failure with the intent to improve, reform and change. Nowadays, a lot of times, this slogan of guilt feeling has become a block against self-reform, self-improvement. So, in a positive way, simple recognition of one's littleness is a first step to progress. you can take anything and make it into a block. People make their family love into a block against loving the rest of the world. People take their patriotism and make it a block against appreciating all the nations of the earth. People take their appreciation of the English language and make it a block against the appreciation of other languages. You can take anything, any virtue, and make it a block. No? Because we are opposing that religion of guilt, so now we have made that opposition also into a block. But there is an element of washing oneself, cleansing oneself, and saying, no, that part I did, no, that wasn't quite to my highest standard. Let me do it differently next time. Then it is not a block. Right. Okay. Yeah. That's a whole different weekend, I'm sorry. In the theory of language, in the philosophy of language in India, they speak of meaning that each sound has a meaning. Then the relationship of sound within a word produces a compound meaning. That the word man is M has a meaning, A has a meaning, N has a meaning. Compounded together, that meaning then produces the concept that is signified by the compound sound man. Then the meaning of those words again compound into phrase meaning. And they produce a different entity of ideas. And then the combined phrases in a sentence produce another set of meaning. And they are again like layer upon layer upon layer of meaning. What I have done in this weekend is cut through the in-between processes, and I've done just the syllabic meaning and then the whole sentence. And the in-between steps I've had to omit. Okay. But I did touch upon it a little in the little mudra dance I did yesterday. But of that another time. But you can take the different segments and understand them independently. Satsa Visurvareya. That of the solar orb is worthy of choice. What does it mean? That the nature of the solar orb is the one that we should surrender upon. That being so, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, we meditate upon the burning brilliance. Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya, who may inspire and impel our intelligence and our buddhi. Right? Yes. Between the Lord's Prayer, you can contemplate and find the relationship. I'll never
with me as you have recited before. Tatsaviturvarenyam, Tatsaviturvarenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Tatsaviturvarenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. All right? Yes. The mantras are actually recited in a certain, I don't know anything about music, but they are recited with certain accentuation. One correction, in pronouncing Devasya, some of you are lengthening the va a little extra, you're making it Devasya. Please listen carefully with me. Devasya. Devasya. Okay? Okay, good. Tat. Listen to yourself, listen to me and listen to yourself. Tat. Savitur. Varenyam. Bhargo. Devasya. Dhimahi. Dhiyo. Yo. Nah. Prachodayat. Sustain it, hold it. Sustain it, hold it, maintain it. We meditate and then meditation goes away. Hold it all the time. Hold that vision of yourself all the time. Hold that identity at all times. All right. I want to thank you all. Sit. With your head, neck and trunk straight.
stay in the meditative experience, frequently enter it again and again. God